your question?
Well, it was like, I don't know, we were just talking about the hurricane and you just thought, is that what's happening? You came up with a solution that maybe that's why they're doing it. Poor Gillian. She's going to not remember now.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's a result of like them trying to do one certain thing in one area, and then it's sort of the weather travels around, and therefore it affects another place negatively. Or yeah, I don't know.
I know.
Where does the hurricane go, Richard? Just goes off, and then you never hear of it again.
No, it peters out. Yeah, when it hits land, it peters out. It needs water, or ours do.
Yeah.
But he's on land.
Yeah, no, but I'm only like, I'm not that far from the coast, though, from the Gulf of Mexico. I'm not far from it.
There we go, about
30, 40
yeah, 20 kilometers inland. They don't get very far inland. Apparently, they lose power when they go across land.
So it might have lost a lot of force by the time it gets to you tomorrow, then, Richard. Might have done.
Yeah. It might. They say it might go down to 2, but they doubt it's going to hit at a 3, so I'll still get some of it. I mean, it's a big hurricane. It's miles long, wide and stuff.
Are they talking to everybody about battening down right now, or is it not like that? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I helped my little convenience store near my house. I helped him board up his windows and stuff today, and helped my neighbor board up his windows. So we help each other out in the community.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thing is, it's made Richard feel a bit depressed because his whole life changed. He had no internet and no electricity. So it's quite.
I bet. Oh, I know.
And it split all his trees. Like, that tree was split in half in the front of your garden, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was on the side of my house. It was definitely almost hit my house.
Well,
it just ripped this tree in half.
Oh, yeah. My front, yeah. My beautiful tree in the front ripped in half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that one. That's what you're talking about. Yeah,
that neighbour of yours thinks, I'm only just about to put, they call them shingles, we call them tiles. What do you call them, Gillian? Tiles? Shingles?
On your roof?
Yeah.
Tiles?
Tiles, yeah. That little neighbour of Rich's is going to go, I've only just put them back up there.
I know, they're brand spanking new. I have brand spanking new shingles on my house. I just had it re-roofed again.
What, you?
Well, my landlord did. I'm buying the house from him, so he's my landlord for right now. So he still takes care of the house with his insurance and stuff until I pay it off.
Yeah, tiles, like, they're not cemented down or anything. They just slot into each other, and the weight of the one above it keeps the one below it in place.
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, we nail ours. They're kind of like a tar top half, so that tar gets nailed down, and the next one gets nailed over it, and it just kind of overlaps. But they have a tar plus a nail in it, so it's pretty good. Like I said, I didn't miss very many at 140 something mile an hour wind, so this one might not give my new shingles.
Will you let us know how you are tomorrow, Richard, at some point, like maybe about 9 o'clock or something? Just message me and say, I'm still here.
For sure.
Yes.
No, Richard didn't like it last time, and he didn't like the noise.
I know.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
I mean, I told him I was in a hurricane in 1999, and I was going, oh my God, it was like being in a film. You can see the glass bowing, and you can feel everything flying around, and the glass is sort of breathing in and out, you know? And you're like, oh my God, look at this.
Feel the pressure in your house different. You go different. Like your eardrums could pop if the pressure's just right. It just feels weird.
So basically, what's the difference between a tornado and a hurricane? One comes across water and one goes across land.
Exactly.
But they're the same thing. So basically, you're in a hurricane. You're in a tornado then.
Yeah, tornadoes can spur off of a hurricane once it hits land, and then they do have water funnels that happen out near a hurricane too. That's like a water tornado, I guess you would call it. But once it hits land, if it blows this a certain way, it can cause its own tornado that come off of it. It's not like up around, say, Wyoming and stuff like that, because they have tornadoes. They don't have hurricanes.
Hey, Richard, tell them what happened with that cow.
Cow?
Was it a cow? What was it? A dolphin. Sorry, dolphin.
Oh, yeah, there was a dolphin found 30 miles inland from this last hurricane. Like, it got pushed so far inland and ended up in someone's pond. Like, so much floodwaters or so. Yeah, so
Lucky it landed there, though, isn't it?
Oh,
they had to
yes.
rescue the dolphin and put him out to sea again.
Sorry, keep going.
Mm.
No, that's all I had to say. They just rescued him and put him out to sea.
Oh.
When we had the floods in Brisbane, I don't know, 10 years ago, there was a shark swimming up the highway. He got swept.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it, that it does that? But it must be electromagnetic again somehow when it drags these things in, isn't it?
Well, it's got like a surge. It pushes a wave of water. Like the hurricane pushes down on the ocean, like all the cyclonic action or whatever, it pushes the water down. So it has a wave in front of it that it's pushing. So when it's coming inland, it's pushing a bunch of water inland. And, you know, all the sea creatures and everything go with the water. And they said that in Cameron, it was 17-foot water came in and covered. That's beachfront property down south of me. But, you know, I'm only 17 feet above sea level where I'm at. So, I mean, anything that starts flooding, if it goes 17 foot, it could get to me sooner or later.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Have you ever seen one of those, like, you know, when you're out in Japan and one of those tsunamis comes? It's the most weirdest thing because it comes in like a train.
Yeah.
As it's going through the town, it's going, and everything's being, they look so bad. I just don't think they talk about those enough because they happen quite often in the down there with Thailand and all that, and in Japan. They never really talk about them, and yet once they come in, they totally destroy everything.
Oh, I know.
You can't get up high enough away from something like that. It's just, I mean, a tsunami is different from a hurricane surge. That's what they call it. A surge of water comes in front of a hurricane. So that's where we get kind of like a typhoon, but it's not a typhoon. It's just pressure being pushed on the water in front of it.
Yeah.
There's Richard with his surfboard at the front going, "Way! Here I come! Out my way! Get out my way!"
The last hurricane, they said that my property where I live at was going to be the new beachfront, but the hurricane outran its own surge. Like, it was going faster than the wave of the water it was pushing. So when it hit land, it just kind of, like, the surge died down a little bit because it was hitting land and slowing down.
Is that why that dolphin got 30 miles in then? Because it went with the water?
Yeah, right. It would have came in a lot more if the hurricane wouldn't have come. If the hurricane wasn't coming so fast, that dolphin probably would have been in my front door.
Hello, Mr. Dolphin. Yeah, sure. Come on, I've got some fish here for you that have come in earlier on.
I live a good ways from the beach, but I still have a lot of waterways around me.
Yeah, Richard's new friend. No, Richard wasn't very happy. It was a bit sad, really, because, you know, like, you're only seeing bits of it, but basically he pointed down the street and it looked quite chaotic down there and it was quite bad around his house, so he's probably not looking forward to tomorrow, are you, at all? I'm really sorry, Richard.
No. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it at all. Like I said, it could still happen again.
Hey, quick, come to England. Come on, get on a plane. Over you come. Come on.
That's right.
Come on. Come on, Richard.
The last hurricane that hit us was called Rita, and it was a 3, and it still destroyed a lot of stuff around here in Moss Bluff. But I was here for the last. This will be my 3rd hurricane I'll be in.
Make sure everything is really battened down then.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got my cats at a place to stay for all this wind.
But it could miss you, couldn't it?
Always...
It might miss you.
Yeah, well, we're on the better side of it. Let's just say that. I am on the better side of where the hurricane's going to hit. But it's still going to hit.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Well, I thought you'd like a phone call from us girlies.
Yes.
Well, I do appreciate that. I was a little shy at first.
Richard likes women, don't you, Richard?
Oh, well, yeah.
He's a man that still respects us. He respects women. Don't you, Richard?
That's great.
You still respect women, don't you?
Well, yeah, I think women are God. I mean, they can produce life. I can't.
Oh.
Guess what just came in the mail? I bought a bit of gold and it just arrived.
I know. I saw your thing, Jax. That's
Actually,
awesome.
you and Richard get on really well like that. He's into things like that, aren't you, Richard? And, you know, you like your, what is it, your silver? He takes silver every day, don't you?
Yeah, I take colloidal silver every day.
Oh, I'd like to do that. I've been buying silver though, silver and gold. Not much. I've only got 7 ounces.
You need to go on
9 ounces.
You need to go on Amazon and get a silver generator. They sell them on Amazon.
Do they? What's it called? A silver generator?
Yeah, a silver generator. That's what it's called. They're really cheap. You can get one for like $25 or something like that. It's not expensive.
And what's that for? What does that do?
Distilled water.
Sorry, what was that bit?
You have to only use distilled water when you make it. It has to be perfectly zero.
Does it come with instructions? I guess it would.
Yeah, it comes with instructions and everything.
All right, I'll jump on Amazon.
I can't remember the name of mine. I'd have to look back at my Amazon account and see what the name of it is. But I can probably send a link or something through Karen, and maybe she can get it to you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, the one I bought, and it's real cheap. I'll have to look at my Amazon account and find it again.
Okay, send it to me then.
For sure.
So what do you use to make colloidal silver out of? Do you actually have to put some silver in it? You would have to, wouldn't you? The silver coil.
Well, the generator comes with 2 silver bars. It's 99.9% silver, so it's pure silver. And I don't know what the 1% is, but but you have to use distilled water. You cannot use any chemically enhanced water, like any. If you get a parts per million meter, you can test your distilled water to see if it's zero. If it's zero, that's perfect water to make colloidal silver.
Okay, so not rainwater, definitely distilled.
If rainwater is, it's supposed to be distilled water because distilled water doesn't have anything in it. It's made with steam, so it's just pure water. And like I said, a parts per million meter is a real helpful thing because sometimes I'll get a jug of water from like Walmart or something like that, and I get distilled water, but I re-distill my distilled water if it has a parts per million in it. Like maybe it might be a leaching from the plastic jug or something like that, but if it has a 1 or anything, I re-distill distilled water to make sure it comes out to a 0. But it's good to have a parts per million meter just to do that. Because the fluoride and stuff that we have over here is just horrible. I mean, I got 200 and something parts per million just in faucet water, and I don't touch that stuff unless I have to take a shower.
Yeah, it'd be good to get a water distiller too. It's another thing on my list.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those.
Yeah.
The only thing bad about distilling your own water is it heats up your house because it's steaming the water. Like it's boiling so much that the steam, goes into another jug. So it gets hot wherever you make this distilled water. So you got to remember that.
Okay. It's already hot here.
It's already hot here.
Winter's coming here, so that'll be good then.
Right.
Having a radiator on in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like. I do mine in my spare bathroom. I don't use that bathroom very much, so I always make my distilled water in there.
You can buy distilled water pretty cheap in the supermarket. It's in the aisle with the ironing and the cleaning products.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it's way cheaper than drinking water, and it's nicer than drinking water to drink.
I don't know if I've seen that there. Oh.
Yeah, I used to buy it a long time ago, but then I stopped the distilled water.
I got
there's a lot of people always saying them old folks tales about, oh, you got to have minerals in your water. No, you don't. You eat every mineral you need. Whenever you eat food, the minerals are put in your body. You do not need minerals from your water. You should not have anything in your water.
And distilled water helps with arthritis. I read
What's that?
Somewhere, distilled water helps with arthritis.
Oh,
yeah, and it helps,
I never heard that.
Clean you out.
That's cool.
Yeah, it cleans you out and everything. It helps so much, distilled water.
Yeah.
Well, you know that they can change water and they can make sure that the water makes you thirsty.
Well, yeah, they put salt in it and all kinds of other stuff to make you want more bottled water, And that's what I tell them guys at work. They see me, I bring one thermos to work, and they're drinking almost a case of water, and I haven't hardly even touched my thermos. I just don't get as thirsty as they do drinking distilled water. I don't feel that thirst that, oh, God, I have to have some water. If I'm thirsty, I go drink a little bit and go on about my business. But them guys, they have to have bottles after bottles of water.
Wow.
And you feel
make
instantly
you thirsty
better.
as much. It's pure water.
When I drank the distilled water, you could almost feel it going through your body as as you drank it.
That's good, yes. Well, actually, I magnetize my distilled water too. I have salvage magnets from microwaves. Like if I find a microwave on the side of the road, I snatch that thing up, and I take the magnets out of the microwave, and my whole shelf where I keep all my water is full of magnets. So I always have magnetized distilled water. That's what I drink.
Cool.
And the silver.
Well, yeah, that's my healthy stuff though. And I don't have to take it every day. I've been taking it for so long. I don't really need to take it as much. I just take it when I feel something like my throat's kind of itchy, like if I was outside all day and the allergies kind of kicked up. So I take a little colloidal silver or drop a couple of droplets in my nose and snot it out. And I don't know. I've been experimenting with this colloidal silver for like years.
Yeah, you're going to last forever, Richard.
My cats drink out of. My cats have silver bars. I took a couple of coins and hammered them down to silver bars. Well, my cats have silver bars in their water outside and inside. I don't have one cat inside, but I have like 9 outside cats. And they all drink from that one bowl of water with the silver bars in it. And that water can last weeks, until they start drinking it without any algae growth, without any. They don't even have fleas in my yard. My cats do not even have fleas, do not have worms, do not have fleas. They've been drinking silver water since they've been babies. And they'll always want that bowl of water with that silver in it more than they'll drink from a puddle or anything. They know what's right. They know what's healthy for them.
That's right.
Yeah, my cat, even when I'm doing the rainwater outside, and the dog, he'll come and drink that water. As opposed to the crap out of the tap in his bowl.
Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
When you just fill a bowl up, you smell the chemicals coming from the faucet water. I'm like, why would anybody drink this? It just smells chemically.
You can taste the chlorine in it sometimes.
I know. Oh, yes.
Yeah, every 2 years I get a report from the water people here, and it tells me the amount of fluoride they put in the water, the amount of chlorine they have to put in it to clean the water up. But I have all those documents. So I know how much fluoride's going in.
Are you sure that you can't stop this hurricane tomorrow? stand in your garden and go, "You're not coming near my house. I've got the distilled water and I've got the silver. Now bugger off."
Well, I'm just glad I got me a generator this time. I didn't have a generator for a week, so I was suffering pretty bad. But I ain't losing meat. I'm not losing the meat I just put in my freezer either, so I'll hook my refrigerator up to my generator if I have to.
I got a generator on my list. A friend's got one for me. I just don't have the $350 to buy it off him yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great thing to have, a generator.
Then you got to have the petrol store to put in it, and it's still. They say there's going to be power interruptions coming in the future. Well, not the officials don't say it, but unofficially.
We don't even know where we're going with these monsters right now, because I mean, I think I've told Trouble, but I've told Amy that they wrote to me again and they're going to send 2 more checks now for being self-employed. You get these grants. Well, they've now extended it for another 6 months. So we're obviously going to be going into another lockdown, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going the UBI, Universal Basic Income. That's what they're rolling in. They don't have a choice because there are no.
About November, I reckon.
Even if they didn't have this crash, machines were coming to take over jobs. They had no choice. This is coming. It's a new industry.
Yep.
It's called How to Lie to the People and Get as much money out of them still when they're not working.
Right.
I'm surprised we've lasted as long as we have.
I know.
Well, I did wonder whether what it is people like Trump. They said, "Is everybody all right? Are we all sorted? You're all," because they've sorted out all the NASA money and the corporation money, and they go, "Yeah, we're fine." And then he comes out from the curtain and he goes, "We're in a lockdown. Everybody's got to stay at home," because they've sorted it all out before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're struggling worldwide with the lockdown, like justifying them. Everybody's sort of going, "Hang on."
I know.
Yeah, everybody's kind of opening their eyes.
Is this why Trump and Boris are going, hot potatoes, hot potatoes, hot potatoes? They don't make any sense.
Yes, I think so.
Mm.
Oh, I never saw such a psyop in my life as this thing has been. It is such a psychological operation when the people are starting to realize, a lot of people are waking up that something's wrong about this.
But it's good to have your friends, isn't it, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
We all talk to each other. I know that you haven't been in on conversations with Richard, but we all talk to each other, so it's good.
Yes, it is.
They should. They made a mistake by letting so many people stay home, though. I think that was their biggest mistake, is letting all these people stay home, because
I haven't worked since February, and they're going to send me 2 more checks, so I don't have to work till April. Have you ever heard anything like it? Like, I'm just like, what it is I am struggling for money right now. I'm not going to have to wait probably another month for this check to come. They're saying, "We're going to do it. We'll let you know the dates." But it's talking about from like November, so I'm going to struggle for a bit longer. But then I get 6 months paid for again. It's like, who the hell's in something like, "Well, you could pay for me for the rest of your life if you want." I don't really like it, because if you go into a lockdown, then it's better for me really, because I won't have to pay any of my bills.
Right.
And the thing is, it's given people that don't normally look into any of this stuff a reason to look into it.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Because it's given them the time and a reason.
I tried to convince the woman that was doing my holiday payment, because I've gone for another holiday payment on my mortgage, because obviously I'm going to be really short this month, and so you pay a small amount, but it just is better that you pay a small amount anyway. And she just wouldn't budge. I was going, "Yeah, but it's fake." She just wouldn't have it. "I'm not here for that," she's going. I'm going, "Yeah, but water seeks its level." "I'm not here for any of that," she was going. Oh, there's the moon. Oh, what a weird shape the moon is. Half a moon out there. coming up north. So I always think we have better weather when the moon comes up north or comes across north.
And at the moment he's running for some political office,
Ugh.
opposition of Bobby Kennedy. So he's calling out bullshit on Bobby Kennedy, that he's just
what have you?
He's a psyop, like because he's saying, Bobby Kennedy is saying that I'll only back good vaccines, as opposed to there is no good vaccine, they're all bad. So even though he is, I think Bobby Kennedy is another psyop for America.
They're all psyops. Q is one, Trump is one, Boris is one, the Queen is one. It's like we're just living in fantasy land.
One big fantasy land.
Hey, it's like the bears on Goldilocks story. We're just living in fantasy. Did you ever think it was going to be like this? We went through all of 9/11 thinking that was real and then realising it wasn't. But we've gone through all this stuff and then we get here and this is the biggest joke ever. And it's like, how? And I go out to a shop and I think, no, there's all these people with masks on. It's a horror movie.
What do you think Trump's virus? Like, is he... Because some people are saying, oh, now he's going to blow it all wide open and prove that it's, nothing to be feared. Or is he, like, confirming that, like, working for Big Pharma, confirming that, there is a virus and there is some medications we can take. And
how could he go back to work when it's a 2-week quarantine and he's back at work?
Right. Exactly.
They keep changing the narrative because what you forget is we had the bats had it. Then it only happens in cold weather, but we had it all year, even though it was hot. And America's and Australia are even hotter than here. So how could it survive? And then animals could get it. And now Boris says it's going to stop at Christmas.
Yeah. And then they said that Trump. If the thing was true, the virus, if it was real, it was much more dangerous for him to leave the White House and
this is political, isn't it? People. They're after him. What is it? He's there because it's all to do with the opposition, isn't it? So that's what they're fending off, is the opposition. That's what this is all about. So maybe they're playing a chess game while they've got these little things and they're moving the little things up on a board, right? We're one step closer to him. We're one step closer.
I definitely think the World Health Organization, the WHO, are corrupt. But they've come out, they're not backing face masks. They are saying that this virus is only slightly worse than the flu. It's not the Spanish flu.
Yes, so why are they doing this to us? And everybody's got masks on and you can only have 6 in your house, which to me, I'm sorry, is communism.
And they don't advocate the shutdown of the countries.
Yeah, but you're only allowed to have 6 people in your house. How could someone tell you how many people you can have in your house if you're going to have 100 people here if we weren't making a lot of noise? So what? It's nobody else's business.
In Australia, there's a bit of hell up because they had an inquiry into the lockdown and nobody's taking responsibility for it. The police chief is saying, no, I didn't tell the Prime Minister to lock the country down. The health chief is saying, no, I didn't tell the Prime Minister to lock the country down. And the Prime Minister goes, oh, I don't remember who told me. And so they're kind of pass the buck around a bit. And
but that's all strange though, Gillian, because we've said this before. We closed down overnight without one soldier and one police officer. Nobody did nothing. That's how peaceful we are.
Yes.
But I don't know whether, because every time you turn the television on, there's someone else making a video about it and someone else getting upset. So, when I go out to the shops and there's all those people wearing masks, I just think, look at. There's one man said to me, "Get back," and I thought, oh my God! I said, "There's no virus." He didn't believe me because that's the sad bit.
They won't believe you. I know. and they just have acted like we're just a bunch of biological weapons, you know, that we're just dangerous to each other, make us feel like we're just all about one big walking biological weapon. We have to assume that we all have it, basically, is what you're saying.
My own children believe in the rubbish. Well, we're doing our bit. I said, what? You're listening to them? This is communism.
Yeah, it is communism.
Ugh, what to say?
I know. I never saw anything like it. Somebody said this is worse than a Twilight Zone episode. I saw a comment somewhere.
I think it is when you're awake, because you actually know what they're doing. You know that they're doing this. I mean, all the stories. I mean, they're not talking about the economy, are they? We've got an immigration thing going on now with the asylum. You know, this woman's got where I'm going to totally overhaul it. I don't want to hear about that now. I want help to get us all back into work.
Right.
We don't want to hear about asylum and, you know, changing all the bills and that, and then the coronavirus every day. We want to know what's happening to our jobs and our economy.
No,
that's right.
That's not going to happen. This is the wealth transfer. This is the biggest wealth transfer in fucking decades.
Right.
There's nothing to transfer, though, is there?
Well, yes. All the property that these businesses are in. All these businesses, it's either shut them down because they don't fit in with the new world that's coming.
Yeah, it's killed off self-employed people, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want this big, and some of the stuff that's coming
Can
is
you
going to be
imagine?
amazing.
They would have won the general elections on that here, because self-employed people are making businesses, and the Tories would have been going, I'm working for you, and now they've just wiped us all out.
Right.
Well, see this. You should see the sneaky things that are coming. So people who are going to lose their houses, instead of losing their houses, the banks come up with this new scheme where you can stay in as a renter, and the bank will, owns the house, and you can rent it back off the bank instead of owning.
Oh my God!
Wow,
that's the sort of shit that's going to start coming.
Yeah.
Well, I must admit today, right? Because obviously you can get they used to get a 3-month holiday, which everybody's used, and then because of this stupid thing, they've gone for 6 months. But I asked her to put a question in, yeah. And now what happens? Because you know, people like this is what are they called? Oh God, what's the forgotten what the mortgage is called. Halifax. Halifax is a big corporation that are doing this to us. So I said to this woman, I want to know what's going to happen after the holiday payments run out. I want to know what's happening in the future. There's thousands and thousands of people. They're going to be losing their houses and everything. So I want to know what is being put in place for the future, because we cannot keep going like this. We're only months into this. This could last for years.
Right.
No, if you got a mortgage holiday, you're in a bit of trouble. You're probably better off to go in now and try to refinance your loan down to lower repayments.
Well, I might have to do that in the end, Trouble, but I'm on a repayment mortgage right now, which actually pays the debt off, whereas an interest only doesn't. But I will be all right for 6 months because they're going to give me those checks. But I would like to get a job because obviously, but I'm struggling. I'm in my 50s. Who wants a 50-year-old worker? My kids are shouting at me, "Oh, you're not working. You need to get work." And my equivalent, so my son's, my daughter-in-law's mum, so she's the equivalent to me. We're the mother-in-laws. She was trying to tell my daughter there are no jobs, Ellie. And what they do is they keep running them over Indeed and all these other websites, and they're the same jobs they've been putting out for weeks.
Well, what the government's done is this JobKeeper or this whatever job thing they've got happening, it's going to cut off for anyone who's over 35. They're now only looking after that.
Wow.
What, in your country?
Yes.
Well,
they're slowly winding it back for over 35s.
Oh.
Because the younger generation have lost more jobs than everybody else, but long term, everybody's going to lose jobs.
Right.
Yeah, because what we don't realise is if this carries on for years, we're only 6 months into this. This could be here for years. We'll be having the same cars, the same clothes, the same everything, because we won't be able to afford to buy anything.
And Australia, the government is trying to save our property market because we didn't have the crash in 2008, so houses are worth $500,000 sort of thing, and that's where everybody's wealth is in their houses. And
So is this about owning? Is this about owning
banks,
our souls? Is it? Is this what this is about? Owning our souls? Because obviously,
most
once
of
they
the
take your
banks are
house,
invested in housing instead of businesses now in Australia. Or so if our housing crashes, our banks collapse. And our banks are too big to fail, and everybody doesn't want the banks to crash because they've seen it happen before.
Right.
So everyone wants the banks to be saved. It's just a big shit fight. Really.
Are we in a game of Monopoly?
It feels like it.
Yeah, a real game of Monopoly.
This is a game of Monopoly.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to play anymore.
No, I never wanted to play in the first place. Amy will tell you, I was one of the first channels to put out, what is this? Is this fake or real? I did it last year in January.
About the coronavirus. Karen is like the first channel to put that out. When it was in China, she put the video showing like everybody, the streets were empty because they had to be in quarantine.
But how does that work? They told us how bad everything was. China had people throwing their bodies out on the streets. They were welding them into buildings, and yet they got the smallest majority of deaths. How does that work?
Yeah.
Just tell me, how does something's gone wrong here with the plan?
I just think
the Chinese people are not as unhealthy as the Western world. That's why.
No. I mean, they were showing us on the television, weren't they? That the bodies were being thrown out in the streets. They were being welded into their buildings, and it obviously isn't true because they have the smallest majority of cases. And so when Trump goes, China disease, what a load of rubbish that is, because they have the smallest amount of people. How can you blame them when we're on 15% and, you know, last time I looked, and America's on 12%. And China on 0.3. I mean, there's quite a difference, isn't it? It's not even 0.5%.
They lied.
America's lied about their numbers. And the CDC has come out and said, no, only like 10 or 5% of the people, of the numbers, are actually died from COVID.
Yes, even CDC said that, yeah.
But I don't know why mainstream media, well, we do know why, they haven't recorrected it. Neither have the health officials in our countries, and neither has the prime ministers in our country.
Yeah, and if you post that when Facebook about that, their fact checkers will tell you it's false information. It's straight from the CDC, but they will put a screen over it and tell you it's false information. And I forget what silly reason they use to say it's false. But I saw a video that in China, they were trying to warn us about the coronavirus. They were all hollering out fake in Chinese.
Yes.
And did you see that trouble? And
yes.
Yeah, so I just think it was all fake. I just don't believe any of it. And I think when people got sick of you know, with different illnesses, they just called it COVID. Whenever it was a respiratory, they just chalked it up to that. I just don't think.
You think everybody's left, haven't you? I don't know how you feel, Richard or Trouble, but Amy thinks everybody's left. We're here on our own with the computer programs.
Yeah, I think that my theory is that we're under the New World Order, and all the ones like Trump and Boris and all of them, I don't know where they are, but they're going, and they're just giving us computer-generated images of them to tell them what to say and everything. And everybody's commenting like Trump's personality has changed so much since he was tested positive for the COVID. They're saying his personality has changed.
Because somebody else is playing him now.
Looks different. Yeah, so I that's just my theory. I could be dead wrong, but when I see all the deep fake of them, Trump, Boris, even Prince Charles, it just dawned on me, like, maybe they all just went somewhere and all we're seeing of them is computer images, and then they just program them to tell us whatever it is that, they want them to say for their narrative. That's just a theory that I had.
Richard, what do you reckon to it?
I don't know who's in charge anymore. It's not any of the people that they're showing us on TV.
Yeah, that's right. I agree, Richard. That's what I think.
Did you see? Gary gave it to me. President Trump used to be a WWE wrestler.
Yes.
We've got the. Oh my God! They're actors in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah, just a bunch of actors.
Yes.
That just has blown my mind.
Me too.
Especially as he was punneling that person on the ground. He just came wading in, knocked this person to the floor and was punching them. And you're thinking, you want him as your president?
Well, I know. I think in America, a lot of us, we thought we got between Trump and Hillary, and we just went, if we were Republican, we just voted for Trump.
Yeah, but now you've got Biden.
I know. So, but then I liked him after I voted for him. I liked what he was saying and everything, and we kind of became fans there for a while.
And then Amy
really
met me. Didn't you, Amy?
Yeah. Well, see, first you were showing me the deep fakes, so that made me wonder. And then, like you said, that he could have stopped all the deep fake in the news and so forth, and he didn't do it. He should have straightened out.
One of the first things he should have done, because if we can't hear the truth and everything is a lie, then there's no point. And this is why they're getting away with it all the time. This is why they can lie to us all the time. What do you think, Trouble? What do you think, Trouble?
For me, it's a bit like the NASA stuff. In the beginning, I was fascinated, but once I worked out that it was all lying, I can't watch it anymore.
Right.
And now it's the same with all this stuff that you're showing. It's like, I just can't watch it because I'm over it. It's like, okay, you're all fucking liars.
Right.
But that's what I'm trying to tell people, is that it's all a lie. So some people like watching the lies and like watching when you make the videos of, is Tom Hanks, whatever it is he playing his wife, or whatever.
Yes.
People do like watching it, but for me it's more serious because they really are lying and they are prepared to do this. They've done it. They've been doing it for years, and now we're waking up. They've got to lock us in our houses and pretend it's something else.
Exactly. And I saw a video, I looked up about deep fakes, and it showed you how they do it, and it had a video of Boris, and I would have never been able to catch it, but it was deep fake. It sounded and looked just exactly like him. It wasn't sloppy. It was very well done. And so
even if you don't go into that kind of conspiracy stuff, people have had enough.
They have.
They've had enough of politicians just playing it out till the end of their term.
Yeah.
If right now any politician stood up there and told the truth, said, shit, our finances are fucked, we need a new system, we're going to have to have
well, is that what's coming, Trouble? But it's going to be called the New World Order. Yeah. So although it's here, they're going to pretend it isn't, and now the New World Order is going to save us.
So why do it so sneakily? I know they've been wanting to do it since
because something else has happened.
1970.
Once you know that NASA's into cognitive engineering, something else has happened, and we didn't do what they wanted us to do. That's why they're going to do it again. Yes. I think one thing that happened, right? This is what happened. This is what I've worked out. Richard, you can say anything you want in a minute, my darling. He's very quiet there. Basically, we watched the Watts case. Me and Amy. Well, I got into it. First of all, I didn't like what they were saying about Shanann Watts when she'd been murdered, supposedly. And then I looked at the footage. And then at the end of the whole thing, when I realised the whole thing was fake, I realised the police were involved, the judges, the courts, the solicitors, whatever you want to call them, the prisons were involved, the media was involved, and the politics were involved. They were all involved in a programme to subvert us. That's what Crime Watch Daily is about, and it goes on and on and on. And then I turn around to the politics, not expecting, you know, you're going to expect to see a little bit, but every video I get has got something wrong with it. Every single one. So they did whatever we found in the Watts case. And what I think was, they had been bombarding us for such a long time with this stuff that they just assumed, obviously, because people were so upset about the Watts case and it made them feel depressed and all that, they thought, that's it. We've got the people. They're in. So that when this happened, they just expected us all to go, yes, which a lot of them have gone. Look at my kids. Yes. But basically, a lot of people, listen, I'm going to finish, but when it actually happens to you, now it's affecting you personally, people are going, hey, I don't want this. Whereas with the Watts case, they were going, yes. So they've made a mistake. Right. They've done this too soon. It should have happened in a few years' time when they'd punnelled us with more of this crap. And too many people are waking up.
I see two worlds. I see the one where everybody's a liar and it's all bullshit. And then I see another one that maybe it's all technology and machines and clones and AI. and it's like,
and don't forget, they're covered in numbers. They've got numbers all over them, whatever that's for.
That's probably just digital TV, a lot of that, I think.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi has numbers on her throat. You know, on our hangouts, I've had a look. I had numbers on the end of my hair. Yes, there was like a 5 or a 3 on the end of my hair, and then across my head there was, you know, like Lady and the Tramp, you know, with those sort of got exaggerated cartoons. There was a man like that with a cat lying across my head on one of my videos. I've seen numbers and things all over the faces of people on my hangouts. I don't know what this is. All I know is it's weird when you slow the footage down.
Because I think that's how digital television film works. I don't think it's like normal footage.
Yeah, it's numbers. But they were making it out. I think that they've gone, digital's not as good as the footage we had in the 70s. The black and white footage before we went colour was really good. And I think what it is that they've gone digital because this is how they're playing their games with us.
Yeah. Oh, those lithogram photos, like that Martin Leakey's always showing, they are stunning. You can zoom in on those and still get some clear pictures. When I do that with any of my photos, you can only zoom in so far before it all blurs out. They had some amazing quality back in those days.
Yeah, it was amazing quality we've had from the past. It isn't now. And the thing is, I mean, the only good thing is, Donald Trump's not orange anymore.
I know.
He's not orange anymore. Did you notice that, Richard? He's not orange anymore.
Oh, yeah, he's not orange no more. I guess summer's over with.
Does that mean it's over? Something's changing. We're coming out of something. He's not orange anymore.
Means he couldn't get to the solarium anymore.
Right. Maybe that's it.
Do you know what that's about? That's so they can deep fake them. And it does mean something because the Queen's been orange. I think it's colouring to make them look better, but I can't believe it on Trump. He looks so bad.
I know.
I think we do have a handing over of the guard. Although we have companies that, you know, can live forever, people don't. And it goes from, you know, like people get old and die or young and die or whatever, and then the new group takes over and they have that same company, the same stuff, but then they have a different mindset, so they take it off in different. And so everything's always morphing.
Yeah, yes.
And you know, I'd love to know how they do it. If you're Can-Be way, although not everybody likes everybody else, as I find out, but Can-Be thinks they have prosthetic layers on them, you know, like masks that are the thickness of a balloon, which makes sense, doesn't it? That does. But when I've looked at the footage, the way that Chris Watts turned round and things, that's computer games. That's virtual reality. So, and then they deep fake. You know, it's easy to deep fake. They only need 10 seconds of a film, and then the person on the side can go, oh, yes, I'm going to war, and then the president or Putin, whoever you've got in there, Donald, Boris, you know, they'll do that. They'll say this. They show that they're talking like that when they're not. It's actually a deep fake. And then do you know what's really bad? It would be really quick for them to put It'd be really quick for them to put the computer programs in, because what it is computers. It's not that computers were made for deepfake, but they accept the deepfake, so they need programs so that they don't accept the deepfake. And once they did all that, you'd notice that most of YouTube would disappear, because people green screen, they lie. You've got the politics, you've got all that. That suddenly most of it would disappear off the screen.
That's great.
I want to know what the Queen's got to do with everything. Are they waiting till is it when she dies that the guard gets passed over? Is that because she's getting old now and passing over?
Well, you know, she's illegitimate as well. I wonder if that has anything to do with it, because now we realise, oh, in 2020, when we've had all this history for years, our Queen is illegitimate. Who's going to want her back?
Now, everybody's known for years that, I mean, there's always been fighting over the Crown of England. One side disputes it, the other side doesn't. It could be a story,
couldn't it? Because the real king lives in Australia with you, William.
Yes, but they're all just. I mean, they could all be fake.
Yeah, that could be a story as well. That could be another story for us.
No, not fake, but I mean, who says to say that that's the way monarchy should be handed down? They changed their rules. Now it can be handed down to a female. For a while there, you couldn't hand it down to your daughter. It had to go to your son. Before that, you could hand it down to your daughter. So they changed the rules in amongst themselves all the time.
Right.
So none of them are legitimate. They all usurped somebody else. They all just took over. They're just conquerors. But
I can't imagine when the Queen comes back, there might be loads of people outside going, boo, boo, because we've been so lied to. And don't forget, she gives the OBEs, the MBEs, the KGBs, and actually that must be a military service for the people that have helped them in their system. Because, I've done the videos, Kate loses her nose, she's in a carriage, she's got no nose on her, so they're in on it. And it looks like, I think that William plays Harry at the moment, because Harry has blue eyes and William has blue eyes, but on this video I did earlier on, they both had the same coloured eyes and they had blue eyes. So I think William must be playing Harry, and then they stick on the beard, the hair and the beard. But I just don't know. It's just incredible that we're living in these lies. It's just so bad.
I know.
It's just so bad. Come on.
It is.
All it is the royal families and the ruling elite. Some of them are just morphing into something else. Hollywood was a morphing of royalty, so to speak. It's treated exactly the same, if not even higher standard, and there's more of them, and they don't have to be family related.
Right.
To be the new royalty.
Amy, what conversation were we having the other day when they were using the Wizard of Oz? It's New York. New York is where the Wizard of Oz is. All the buildings that were in the Wizard of Oz in New York. But what was that person saying? They were saying something about
the yellow brick road.
Yeah, all that goes to the Big Apple.
Yes. Was that
another one I heard was that the yellow brick road was about when they took us off the gold standard.
Yes, that's what this person was saying. Yes, that's what I think this person was saying.
Who was that we were talking to, Amy? I can't remember now.
Was it
people? Oh, sorry.
Was it David or?
Oh yeah, it was David last night, wasn't it? On our hangout. David. Yeah, we were talking. Yeah, when we weren't recording. Yeah. Carry on, Richard.
So the thing is.
Oh, sorry,
All these people agreeing with Trouble about the Wizard of Oz and the gold standard. I heard of that too.
And so you got all these people pushing for the gold standard to come back, but who owns all the gold? The banks and the ruling elite. So we're still going to get fucked over by the same people. That's why they got rid of everybody wanted to get rid of the gold standard. They agreed to it because they were fucking us over so badly with it.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's going to be a good thing if that comes back. Though other people I'm talking to want silver to be the standard, not gold. Because that's poor man's gold. Everybody can have silver. It's more affordable.
Right.
I don't know.
It's just so. I'm just so disgusted with it all. We don't know where we're going, what's happening, And yeah, it's just disgusting. I just
Like
carry on.
with the technology we have, there's no reason to be carrying around purses full of coins. You know, so it would be just too dumb to go back to carrying around heavy-weighted coins and printing them up when we have the technology to not have to do that. The problem is that technology, we have to give up all our privacy to have it.
Yep.
And
That's right. That's the thing.
We don't know how much they're harvesting from us, do we? To be honest, could be our energy.
No,
Yes.
some of it could be fake. Like it could all just half of it could be just like the scary stories to keep everybody in line, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I do agree with you because me and Amy and Patricia went and had a look. There are birth certificates. I'm not saying there's not birth certificates, but there's no database of birth certificates in America. If they haven't managed to put a database of birth certificates together across the country, how can they bring all this in? It's never going to work because it's all broken and whatever.
Well, what I heard is that Amazon is getting is going to have all our personal information. Amazon, and I think maybe that we have here in America, but definitely Amazon. They are going to have all our personal information. Like they just want to have all this surveillance on us, but then it just seems almost like incredible that they could really do that. So are they just telling us that, or trying to scare us, or are they really doing it? I think they could probably really do it. But
I never bought anything off Amazon. I've never bought anything off Amazon.
Well, yesterday, the day before yesterday, I downloaded an app to do trading.
Naughty boy. Carry on, Gillian.
Yesterday, day before, I downloaded an app to do some trading online because I thought I'd look into it. And the next day, I'm getting a telemarketer about trading and have I ever lost money and stuff. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I only signed up yesterday.
I know.
And they've already sold my details to you. And he's going, oh, can you tell me which companies you signed up to? And I'm like, well, you should know because you've fucking got my information and you're calling. What the fuck?
That's right.
And so I just say to people, no, I don't appreciate you buying my information like some stalker.
Exactly, yeah.
What, you think you're going to get a fucking pat on the back for this shit? No.
I know it.
You don't like me, you just call, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I don't know where we go when all the, it just reminds me of all, I've talked about it loads of times, but it just reminds me of all these films, Arnie in Total Recall. He knows who the baddies is. He's come up and he's killed that woman, whatever it is, and he opens the door. He knows who the baddies is. On comes the television, and there they are on the television on the news. So this is where we are. These parts of these films are what we're living in. I mean, the Truman family.
Yes.
And I mean, my one biggest shock is, who knows about Blade Runner? Harrison Ford was a Blade Runner. That's really got me. I watched a video the other day and they said Harrison Ford was a Blade Runner. And I'm like, what? I don't remember it being like that.
I remember it being Harrison Ford. I watched Blade Runner when it first came
out.
Oh,
no, not that. But did you know he was a Blade Runner?
Well, I knew he was on the movie Blade Runner.
He was, he's capturing them because, and what it is they're not even, the Blade Runners aren't even the baddies because they just don't want to die. They know they've got a limited amount of time, but they've broken out because they want to live, right? So,
yeah,
that's Rut Hooger and all that stuff. But, so basically, they're not really the baddies. They're the goodies. And Harrison Ford's got to round them up and then he falls in love with one of them. But never did I think that Harrison Ford was one of them. But because the police officer keeps turning up and making those little oregano things, and he always turns up at certain points. And so actually, I thought, oh my God, I never...
So he turned on his own. He turned on his own, just like those Jewish guys did when they rounded up all the Jews.
Yes, that's what I think this person was saying.
Who
that
was that
Karen
we were
was
talking
mentioning.
to, Amy? I can't remember now.
Was
But
it
then you have people. Oh, sorry.
was it David or?
Oh yeah, it was David last night, wasn't it,
think
on
it was
our hangout?
David,
Yeah, we were talking.
yeah.
Yeah, when we weren't recording. Yeah. Carry on, Richard.
See, the thing is,
Oh, sorry,
No,
all
I
Trouble.
these
was just
people pushing.
agreeing with
I'll just be quick.
Trouble about the Wizard of Oz and the gold standard. I heard of that too.
And see, you got all these people pushing for the gold standard to come back, but who owns all the gold? The banks and the ruling elite. So we're still going to get fucked over by the same people. That's
Yep.
why they got rid of everybody wanted to get rid of the gold standard. They agreed to it because they were fucking us over so badly.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's going to be a good thing if that comes back. Though other people I'm talking to want silver to be the standard, not gold. Because that's poor man's gold. Everybody can have silver. It's more affordable.
Right.
It's just so.
And then
I'm just so disgusted with it all. We don't know where we're going, what's happening, and yeah, it's just disgusting. I just.
Like
Carry on.
with the technology we have, there's no reason to be carrying around purses full of coins. You know, so it would be just too dumb to go back to carrying around heavy-weighted coins and printing them up when we have the technology to not have to do that. The problem is that technology, we have to give up all our privacy to have it.
Yep.
And
That's right. That's the thing.
We don't know how much they're harvesting from us, do we? To be honest, could be our energy.
Yes.
Some of it could be fake. Like it could all just half of it could be just like the scary stories to keep everybody in line, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I do agree with you because me and Amy and Patricia went and had a look. There are birth certificates. I'm not saying there's not birth certificates, but there's no database of birth certificates in America. If they haven't managed to put a database of birth certificates together across the country, how can they bring all this in? It's never going to work because it's all broken and whatever.
Well, what I heard is that Amazon is is going to have all our personal information. Amazon, and I think maybe that we have here in America, but definitely Amazon. And they are going to have all our personal information. Like they just want to have all this surveillance on us, but then it just seems almost like incredible that they could really do that. So are they just telling us that, or trying to scare us, or are they really doing it? I think they could probably really do it. But
I've never bought anything off Amazon.
Well, yesterday, the day before yesterday, I downloaded an app to do trading.
Naughty boy. Carry on, Gillian.
Yesterday, day before, I downloaded an app to do some trading online because I thought I'd look into it. And the next day, I'm getting a telemarketer about trading and have I ever lost money and stuff. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I only signed up yesterday.
I know.
And they've already sold my details to you. And he's going, oh, can you tell me which companies you signed up to? And I'm like, well, you should know because you're fucking got my information and you're calling. What the fuck?
That's right.
And so I just say to people, no, I don't appreciate you buying my information like some stalker.
Exactly, yeah.
What, you think you're going to get a fucking pat on the back for this shit? No.
I know it.
You don't like me. You just call, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I don't know where we go when all the, it just reminds me of all, I've talked about it loads of times, but it just reminds me of all these films, Arnie in Total Recall. He knows who the baddies is. He's come up and he's killed that woman, whatever it is. And he opens the door. He knows who the baddies is. On comes the television, and there they are on the television on the news. So this is where we are. These parts of these films are what we're living in. I mean, the Truman family.
Yes.
And I mean, my one biggest shock is, who knows about Blade Runner? Harrison Ford was a Blade Runner. That's really got me. I watched a video the other day and they said Harrison Ford was a Blade Runner. And I'm like, what? I don't remember it being like that.
I remember it being Harrison Ford. I watched Blade Runner when it first came
out.
out.
Oh, no, not that. But did you know he was a Blade Runner?
Well, I knew he was on the movie Blade Runner.
He was, he's capturing them because, and what it is they're not even, the Blade Runners aren't even the baddies because they just don't want to die. They know they've got a limited amount of time, but they've broken out because they want to live, right? So,
yeah,
that's Rut Hooger and all that stuff. But, so basically, they're not really the baddies. They're the goodies. And Harrison Ford's got to round them up and then he falls in love with one of them. But never did I think that Harrison Ford was one of them. But because the police officer keeps turning up and making those little oregano things, and he always turns up at certain points. And so actually, I thought, oh my God, I never...
So he turned on his own. He turned on his own just like those Jewish guys did when they rounded up all the Jews.
Yeah.
Sister or brother.
No, well, this it came to Portland that the town my sister was in, and everybody knows the guy who died. He just up and died in the middle of the night. So I don't even think it was coronavirus.
Right.
But his mother tested positive. No, his sister. So his sister came from the country, that's Melbourne, to look after their mum that was sick. And she ended up giving it to her mum and her brother died, and her mum went to hospital. And then a few people around town got it. They're all freaking out.
Is that a real story?
Yes.
Yes.
But like I said, he died. Like he wasn't even sick, and he just up and dies, and they go, he's got coronavirus. I don't think he died of coronavirus. That is my personal opinion.
Right.
Even though they had the virus, I don't think he died.
I don't see how when someone's dying of, say, whatever cancer you want, and then they get clumped into the coronavirus. I just don't get that. It's not what they died of. They died of complications of having cancer.
Exactly.
Well, but even coronavirus, I mean, it's just another version of the flu, isn't it?
Yeah, or even a
so they got a bad flu. And they weren't healthy enough to overcome it.
Right.
My dad's got emphysema. We've known for the last few years, should he get the flu or a cold, even a cold, he's out. He's gone.
Aww.
Yeah, that's the problem. They've got an illness, and then they catch a flu, and then it gives them pneumonia. That's, loads. Pneumonia. Loads of people get pneumonia. Loads get it when they're ill or old. It's nothing to do with corona. And then what it is on the respirators, it's like no resuscitation. I mean, what the hell's that about? I thought the hospitals were supposed to save us, not say no resuscitation.
The flu stats, they're just an average. What they do is they pick out like 50 doctors or clinics, and they get these guys to actually do test people for the flu, and then they go off that percentage for the rest of the whole country. They don't. Like, do you know anyone that died of the flu? I don't know anyone that they go, they died of the flu.
No.
They all died different,
Right.
Old age or whatever.
Yes.
It's just absolutely crazy that everybody swapped normality and thinking for themselves and working it out for this craziness. Richard, what were you going to say?
Nothing. I'm listening. I'm just agreeing with a lot of what y'all got to say.
Oh, well, I hope you've enjoyed us ladies calling you.
Yes, I have.
We haven't
haven't had this many ladies talking to me at one time in a long time.
We haven't let the poor guy get a word in.
Yeah, see what we're like when we're together? We're witches. Good witches. We're only good witches. Yeah, it's quite incredible what they've done to us. I'm so disgusted.
So am I. I am too.
And we're watching it and we know that it's all wrong, and there's sort of still nothing we can do because there's no one to write to or go to. It's not like the police. Someone was saying that they know that they're common law and they're promoting corporate law, unfortunately. But it's not like we've got anywhere to write to, is it? We've got to sit with this and just talk about it. That's all you can do is talk about it.
Right.
I think they're slipping, and that's where we've got to be careful. I think they're going to God's laws, nature's laws, where now we all have to stay in a city and turn the rest of the world into the Garden of Eden. I think they're going to flip it on us, and I think they've done it before. There was a time in the past when you could take a person to court on behalf of a cow because somebody made his paddock, his grazing land, smaller or something. And I think we're going to flip back to that, whereas we won't be able to do anything unless we're one of these giant corporations, because we'll have all these common law. They'll twist the common law shit. I think they use both of it against us.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, what we need to do is we need to somehow get them out and send them in a rocket.
I know.
Don't you agree? We need to get them in a rocket and send them off.
Yes.
Bye.
Yep.
Go to the moon. Not. Yeah. You're going to die about 3... Well, actually, I can't imagine what it's like, because looking at the footage, the shuttle just goes glowing orange. That's what happens. And they're in that thing that's glowing orange. Yeah, right.
I know. I know.
Yeah, sorry, Richard, do you want to go now? Because we've kept you on the phone quite a long time.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go. I'll give me a little bit of rest. I got to get up tomorrow.
One second.
On their houses and get prepared for tomorrow evening.
I've just told Richard that I've recorded it. Sorry, Richard.
Nah, no problem. Like I said, it's better if you don't tell me, because I won't talk if you tell me.
But again, at least we've got this video. I know it hasn't happened yet, but it's got a little bit of a recording about, obviously when this goes out, it'll be tomorrow, and it'll be like, it'll be happening to you, but everybody will know that you're in this hurricane.
Yes.
You know what though, Richard? You can get it to direct this way and come over. Like, hey, I'm riding the hurricane and I'm off to England.
Yes.
Yeah. Take me to England.
Richard'd like to meet me, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Give me an airbender.
Yeah, he'd like to meet me.
I know.
Amy's a bit closer. She's a bit closer on the coast. I'd like to meet Richard. Richard's been one of I've had a few people that have hung around me from the beginning. Richard's one of them, aren't you?
Oh.
Yep.
Richard and I can fly over together.
Yeah, you could pick Amy up on the way and bring her over too. Hey, I'm riding it. I'm just picking Miss Amy up, and then we're off.
You can fly by and get me, thank you. Just around the corner.
Yeah, I'd love it if we all met each other. It'd be brilliant, and I'd give you all a hug and a kiss.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
Anyway, Richard has been with us without any internet, haven't you, Richard? So I do appreciate that. I realise you've been on for an hour,
No problem.
Yeah.
I got to pay my bill tomorrow, so I'll be caught up on my other stuff.
But should I just say for this hangout, which I'm going to stop, Gillian, Trouble About, Amy, Miss Amy, and Richard Burke, and chat room, and they didn't know I was recording them. Sometimes it's good to have that, I don't know, that was a really good chat, so thank you very much, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry I recorded it. We talked about loads of things. We talked about silver and money and what they're doing to us, and unfortunately Richard's going through this horrible thing tomorrow. Richard, just for this hangout, we really wish you luck tomorrow. I really hope it's not bad, and for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
And we love you.
Yes, we love you.
Yeah.
Right.
Just remember that when it's battering down. Hey, they love me.
Oh, that's
It might help. We'll do some prayers for you, Richard.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you very much,
I
everybody.
appreciate it.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.